At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy, Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called The Show.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, of course I'm ready for a big, dumb radio show, Amy. Did you even have to ask?
I am thrilled to death, and all of our listeners, if you're ready for a big, dumb radio show.
Just for a little insight, right as we were about to start, and I mean a second before it was time for us to talk, Amy said off the air, "Are you ready for a big, dumb radio show?" Well, and
self-deprecating.
This is the only one that you could possibly be talking about. 314-436-7900.
Jeez.
Please join the show today by texting in voice messages on the Odyssey app. You know how to do that. Super easy. Odyssey is where you listen to the show, podcasts, Cardinals baseball when the season starts, and that is happening very, very soon. And we also want you to stream us. You can do that on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We are at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, this week, many more of the Epstein files were shown to some Congress people, and the results of that are, well, I guess still questionable. We're going to talk to Andrew Egger, who is the White House correspondent for The Bulwark. We'll get his thoughts on that at 10 o'clock today.
And the Winter Olympics continue. And what would the Olympics be without a little drama? A Norwegian skier was on the medal podium when he confessed he cheated on his girlfriend.
What a place to do it.
Wow. Hey, we'll visit with CBS correspondent Kelly O'Grady live from Milano.
And this is really cool. City SC has unveiled a new soccer kit for the season. And for those of you who are soccer noobs, a kit is a uniform. They have a new Tina Turner inspired uniform for the 26-27 season, and it looks really, really cool. Matt Seebeck is going to join us. He's the Chief Experience Officer with City SC, and he'll be with us at 11 o'clock today.
Well, some sad news for some longtime KMOX listeners. Those KMOX voices that have been here forever, like Tom Ackerman and Debbie Monterey, Michael Calhoun. The old One Memorial Drive building. So iconic, by the way, that people will still ask me if we're in that One Memorial Drive building.
I would like to report that I interned in that building.
That's where you
interned.
interned.
So I've been in there.
Yeah. So KMOX left in 2012, but the Gateway Tower at One Memorial Drive entered a receivership in January after defaulting on a $13.85 million loan. So the 21-story office building saw its occupancy plummet. As I mentioned, KMOX left in 2012, but KMOV more recently departed because KMOV was in that building as well. They're now in like Maryland Heights, that area. And this is now the 7th major downtown St. Louis property facing foreclosure or receivership within the past 9 months. And that, as the St. Louis Business Journal points out, signals neighborhood distress.
Well, we have talked about downtown St. Louis's distress for quite some time. And to me, and as we discuss crime, I don't know. I feel like we haven't done it a lot lately, but
partly because it is so depressing.
Well, partly because it's depressing, but also because it has gotten better down here, I think. But my problem, and for a lot of people, the issue with downtown St. Louis is that there just isn't, it feels dead.
It's not bustling.
Yeah, it's not a bustling downtown. And you can drive around several blocks and you see a business here and a business there. And you think, man, I would love to see more of this. You'd like to see more people just kind of walking around and enjoying downtown. And that, to me, this is just a signal of that. There are things to go look at. There are things to do downtown St. Louis. Yes, I know we talk about the Arch all the time, and we make fun of the fact that that's all we ever talk about, but it is something to go see. The old courthouse is something to go see. Outside of a game, outside of the Blues or the Cardinals or, Battlehawks playing, there are a few things here and there that you can see if you're downtown. There's just not enough of it for me. And I don't know if there's ever going to be in my lifetime, and I hope this is not what happens. I hope that people start to embrace downtown St. Louis a little bit more, and there's more investment in it. People decide to move back into it. People decide to bring businesses downtown. I hope there is a time before I'm gone that happens, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah. So just again, the clerical points here that a court agreed on January 12th to a receivership. So Cushman and Wakefield are now in charge of the building, and they don't know right now, the future of the building's up in the air. Will the building lease? We don't know. It is a tough market. I don't believe we know yet if the building will be listed for sale. I think its value has dropped down to $6 million for this 21-story building on the riverfront. So the value has plummeted. And as the St. Louis Business Journal points out, the value of St. Louis's 15 largest office buildings has dropped almost 20% since 2019, and downtown office vacancy rates rose 28.4% in just the fourth quarter of 2025. So this is something obviously the city needs to work on. Mayor Kara Spencer has addressed it. The business group Greater St. Louis as well knows that we have to turn this trend around.
Yeah.
And as I heard this morning on Total Information AM, I believe they were playing part of the think tank on the Glover show, but people who understand this area knows that as St. Louis goes, so the region goes.
That's true.
St. Charles is St. Louis for all practical purposes. Franklin County is St. Louis for a lot of practical purposes. When it comes to the economic driver of the region, it's the city of St. Louis. When it comes to how outsiders view us,
that's correct.
They don't know what Franklin County is or Jefferson County is or St. Charles is.
No matter where you are in any city in the country, with the exception of maybe like Los Angeles, because Los Angeles just isn't a very downtown-centric city. It's very unique and strange the way LA is. With the exception of a big city like that, for the most part, when you think about cities around the country, you're thinking about their downtown first. When you watch a sporting event and they do the establishing shots, they're showing the city's, the downtown skyline first. Mm-hmm. It's the very first thing they'll show you. So that does matter when you're talking about outside perception of the area. Now, cities like New York and Houston and Chicago, like the bigger cities in the country, they're also seeing a higher percentage of foreclosures in downtown areas than they were 5, 6, 7 years ago. So it's not just a St. Louis phenomena. The problem is because St. Louis is already struggling in that way, when there is another foreclosure or there is another vacant building, it's a lot more glaring.
Yeah.
Because it adds to the environment that already exists, that it feels like there just isn't much going on downtown.
So as we mentioned,
we can't afford it. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. KMOV left the building in 23. KMOX left in 2012. If you've heard of the software maker ShipWorks, they were on the 20th floor of the Gateway Tower. They left in 2022. The company is now headquartered in Austin. So some of the tenants that are still there, you've heard us talk about the East-West Gateway Council of Governments. They're there. Jefferson National Parks Association, engineering firm Crawford, Tilley and Murphy, architecture firms like Fox Architects. But, I mean, you look at the Couples 9 building, the Bank of America Plaza, of course, the AT&T Tower. They're tearing down the Millennium Hotel, not a business building, but they're tearing that down to build a new development that will be residential and retail and restaurants, and that is going to be good.
You said AT&T?
I mentioned AT&T.
Yeah. So that's being got to be a mixed use building, and I think that the just this week, actually, some aldermen went and looked at it, talking about what, just to get an idea of what the plans are going to be for it. And we have, look, it's not that far from here. What, probably 3 blocks? I think the AT&T Tower, and that's a huge building. To have it become something would be really important. To have any big building that is vacant or being hardly used become something in St. Louis would be a really big deal. And I don't know how long it's going to be before we see a rebound downtown, but I'm telling you, we need it badly.
Yeah. That's
Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We're glad you're with us today. Feel free to visit 314-436-7900. This is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 369-369. AREA to 369-369. AREA to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Wait, Corey from Air Comfort Service? What are you doing in my basement?
Standing behind our work.
It's 9 p.m.
At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation, we take pride in our work. If you need heating service, no matter the time of day or night, we're here to help with 24/7 emergency service.
So you're just going to stand behind my furnace?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you hand me those paper towels then?
Absolutely. For heating service or HVAC maintenance, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Considering buying or selling a home? When it comes to the Gelman team with eXp Realty, numbers don't lie. Over 1,500 Google and Zillow 5-star reviews, nearly 6,000 homes, and $2.5 billion in real estate sold. Call 314-336-1991, thegelmanteam.com.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Text messages to 314-436-7900. This texter says, hey, big dumb radio show. Here's a big dumb observation. I'm so glad they changed the Ethos life insurance commercial. Why? What was wrong with it the first time?
I think it sounded like the lady was running.
Oh.
She was a little breathy.
Okay. Also, this question says, why is a downtown so important? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, maybe it's not obvious because it is the center of everything for any city. For the most part, that's where most of your economy is. That's where your office buildings are. That's where a lot of people live.
Cities struggle to survive as a donut,
They
as
do.
Michael Calhoun likes to say, or as you said, you can't be a suburb of nowhere.
There can be you'd be more, if there's no strong downtown, you're basically a rural area.
And there are, whether it's events or conferences or businesses, they want the cachet that comes with a big city. I mean, I'm not joking, whether it's, businesses wanting to say we're headquartered in a big, recognizable, swanky city. They want that. The same with big teams like an NFL or a Major League Baseball, right? We've got the Cardinals, but businesses will move so they're not located in Secaucus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be in a Austin, Texas, a New York City, a Charlotte, North Carolina, and a St. Louis, Missouri. You get those businesses, it becomes economic driver and so forth.
Yeah, I think it's really simple. And at one time, St. Louis was kind of a metropolis here compared to a lot of other cities in the country.
All right. The conversation about the Epstein files continues, obviously, and recently some members of Congress were able to see unredacted files. And
Congressmen like Jamie Raskin, Ro Khanna, and Thomas Massie,
who, Ron, and you can help me out here. I'm struggling to wrap my brain around the depravity, the evil, the grossness of what Jeffrey Epstein did and how many people are involved in this. And this is way beyond Republican, Democrat. These are just wealthy, powerful people who are circling the wagons to protect themselves. I don't know what it's going to take to get these names out, but Ro Khanna did list some of the names in Congress of the people that he saw. For instance, Leslie Wexner, the billionaire former owner of Victoria's Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And, Thomas Massie said what a lot of us in the media as well have said. And I mean, well, people in general, what's right is that having your name appear in the Epstein files does not prove guilt, right? This guy was constantly reaching out to people. However, Leslie Wexner was designated as a co-conspirator of Epstein for child sex trafficking in a 2019 FBI document. And then there was another guy, the Sultan. There was I'll have to get that name.
Ahmad bin Soyman.
Yes. His email address was used to send correspondence about a torture video.
Yeah.
And these were names that were redacted to, quote, protect the innocent. These guys aren't innocent. And that's why Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna said, we're going to say these names. These names should not have been redacted. And as they pointed out, if in 2 hours we found multiple names of guilty parties, co-conspirators, imagine if you had more time to go through those files. Why were those names redacted?
Well, Pam Bondi is being, she is part of a hearing today at the House Judiciary Committee on the redactions because there are so many heavily redacted files that were released. And yeah, I mean, you're going to have a lot of names in it that you just won't know. The kind of quiet billionaire, the oligarch types that are extremely powerful, but you probably never know their names. There are going to be all kinds of names like that in the files, as well as people that we all know really well. And what is just really not sit very well with me is that you have a group of people who have been screaming about the Epstein files for years and years and years. Well, now we have the opportunity to look at them and they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
That to me is bothersome. And that to me indicates that they know people in them or maybe themselves. And that's why they don't want to talk about it anymore. And I'm talking about some really powerful Americans, people in Congress, people maybe in the White House. That is what it reads like to me. And I don't know how it doesn't look that way to other people too, unless you just don't want the people you voted for or the people that you like to be in those files. And if you find out that they are, then you just want to shut that off. That you just don't want to believe it. And I can't. There's a lot of dissonance that goes on there. That's what I kind of think is happening here. But to me, I don't care who's in them or who committed wrongdoing. I don't care if they were somebody I voted for or would have voted for if I had the option. I don't care. I want them taken care of.
Yeah. Again, the level of depravity, of horror, of evil that we've seen, that we know from these emails from the Epstein file, which I know is just the tip of the iceberg here. Again, I don't want to go into details, but there's a detailed email about an 11-year-old girl. You can imagine. There was a detailed email about the quote, the littlest one. You can imagine. Okay. These people we need to get their names out there. I don't know if you know the names of anyone. I don't know how you're not just screaming it from the mountaintops going, I don't care.
Unless you're worried about a legal repercussion for you.
Or getting killed. I mean, so here's what
if
Ro
it's out
Khanna
there,
did.
it's out there, right?
So Representative Ro Khanna, he was able to make comments on the House floor about what he, saw the unredacted Epstein files because the Constitution's speech and debate clause protects members from being questioned for speech made in the context of their duties. So that would help shield him from criminal liability or civil lawsuits. But again, they have failed to redact names of the victims of the girls here. But
They're more concerned with people who are in them than people who are victims, it seems like.
Right. Somehow they want to protect Leslie Wexner, who was designated as a co-conspirator. Again, Leslie Wexner, the billionaire former owner of Victoria's Secret. There's a shocker. I mean, again, it could be, whatever they're protecting themselves. I don't know. Legal repercussions. If you go out of order in the legal process, sometimes that allows the defendants to have more leniency than they otherwise would have.
Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know. But my goodness, this is the most confounding and despicable situation I've ever seen.
Well, I don't know how some people, and I think we all know who we're talking about, can scream about Epstein files for years and years, and suddenly here we are, and it doesn't matter anymore. How do we get to that point?
Yeah.
Because people are in them? Maybe you're in them? Maybe you thought that only we would find out about the people you don't like being in the finals? Is that what's going on here? Because it's really, to me, if sex trafficking of women and statutory rape, if that is important to you and people who commit those acts should be punished, then you should care who did it, no matter who they are. People you voted for, people you gave money to, people who give money to you. It shouldn't matter. Because if that is something that we do not tolerate as a society, you should be infuriated by all of this. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or have all the money in the world and they've given you some of it. You should be infuriated by it.
Also, I think it needs to be pointed out that Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary Trump appointed, said, I cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein in 2005.
Yeah.
In 2005, because remember, Jeffrey Epstein pled to sex trafficking minors in 2008. But Howard Lutnick, he stopped all communication with Epstein in 2005, years before. Oh, no, wait a minute. He visited Jeffrey Epstein's island in 2012 with his family, his wife, his kid, and all their nannies.
Well, I don't think there's there's no secret here that Howard Lutnick's a real greaseball. Like, that guy is just, screams greaseball.
And he goes, yes, of course. He forgot. He forgot that he took his family, his wife, another couple, and all their nannies and their kids to Epstein's island in 2012 after he had already pled guilty to sex trafficking minors, but he said it was like an hour. It was like a lunch, basically.
Well,
Short.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, big guy. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. You can always tell us what you feel, and you could do that on the Odyssey app by recording a short voice message. Send it to us. Give us your thoughts. We love voice messages. They're so much fun, and it's easy and free to use. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is pretty darn sunny out there. It's going to be that way most of the day. It's 37 degrees. The high today, 50, so a bit cooler than yesterday. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 30. Weather sponsored by Meadowview Memory Care.
Discover Meadowview Memory Care in Arnold, a small, secure community on a beautiful campus. Enjoy peace of mind with all our inclusive rates and comfortable private suites. Schedule your tour today at rspseniorliving.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER. RENNER.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs, attorneys, and for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Two St. Louis icons, one legendary tribute. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC at Powell Hall on Sunday, February 15th for Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner. Presented by Purina, with performances by special guests including conductor Anthony Partner, Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, and our city's own Kennedy Homes. This is your chance to experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Well, thank you for texting in.
Yeah.
314-436-7900. A 314 says, we were talking about the Epstein files, by the way, if you are just joining us. Thank you. You guys are right on about being disgusted with the whole situation. However, it is likely that those reading these files signed some kind of a document stating what they could and could not say about the information when they walked out the door. My suspicion is that many of them are violating those conditions. Having been a holder of a classified security clearance, I find their actions just as disgusting. Quickly, one more comment about people disclosing information that they've signed the document. That is a very big complaint about Donald Trump. He violated his security clearance, and I can't understand how he holds one today.
Well, we can wonder that together. Just go. It's either, and we talk about consistency. I know I talk about consistency a lot. You either are disgusted by all of this, no matter who's involved, or you're not. You either this matters to you or it doesn't. Don't pretend like it matters to you only if somebody you don't like you think is implicated. Right? I don't like Bill Clinton, and I know he's in these files. Okay, great. Well, maybe the current president is too. What do you think about that? Oh, that doesn't matter to me. It just clipped. And from my perspective, they both matter to me. If they are both in them and both are guilty of something, they should all be punished. All of them.
This is way.
I do not care.
Way bigger than Republican Democrat. I mean, this is.
It should be
next level
Amy,
horror.
Here's the thing. It should be, but I don't think it is for a lot of people.
So we do have a texter. A 618 says, well, for those historically conservative people, Reagan, Bush, McCain, voters, this is a good temperature check that the thing that looks like a cult and acts like a cult never actually cared about the values it proclaims. It was all a front. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, figured that out, and look at what she's up to. And to MTG's credit for turning, she was a true believer. That's the thing that's why she turned, is because she didn't necessarily sell her soul. She was an actual believer.
We talked about this a long time ago, that we did not think, and you and I were in agreement on this. This was way before her finally turning on the president a little bit. You and I both thought that she was not one of those opportunists, that she was actually believing.
She didn't sell her soul. She didn't know better. Yes.
I can absolutely believe that's who she is.
Yeah.
I believe all this stuff.
I would say, because I said
it
this
years ago.
Yes, I said there are people who know better, like Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell. They know better. They know better. Marco Rubio, Eric Schmidt, all those guys. They know better. But MTG, I didn't necessarily credit. I thought she was not very smart, and I thought she was just a true believer. And you know what? To her credit, as a true believer, she was like, "Oh my gosh, this isn't at all what I thought it was," which in some ways makes her conversion that much more genuine. I doubted how genuine her conversion was, because I thought, this is just another, maybe she's thinking Trump's going to go away and I need a future. I don't think
she's an opportunist, man.
I think she was a believer.
Maybe she is a little bit, but I don't think that's her driving principle. So the Olympics have been going on. I know
Speaking of opportunists.
This is what an opportunity.
Holy moly.
So a biathlon athlete named Sturla Holm Lagrade, I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. He is he's a biathlete, as I mentioned, and he just won a bronze.
Yes.
Was it one day ago?
I think so.
So
one day ago, our time.
Anyway, he is Norwegian.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And This is him immediately after securing a bronze medal.
Og så det en jeg ville dele det her med, som kanskje ikke ser på I dag. For et halvt år siden så møtte jeg mitt livs kjærlighet. Verdens vakreste, fineste person.
Okay.
He's
Now,
crying.
he's crying.
Yeah.
All right. Now, obviously, we don't
It's not
understand.
English, yeah.
Maybe some of you listening know what he's saying, but basically what he is saying in this moment is, I wish I could be celebrating this, and I'm paraphrasing. I wish I could be celebrating this bronze medal with somebody in particular, but I made a mistake a few months ago, and I cheated on her.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if she's watching or not. And he said, I had a gold medal in life.
Yeah.
And he's referring to her, and he blew it. Okay. So this athlete took the moment right after securing a medal to immediately go to the camera and microphone and say, I cheated on my girlfriend. I am really sad. She left me. I can't even enjoy this medal right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
Not for her, but this is just amazing.
It's horrible. And
no, this is
I can
so
see,
great.
I actually am like, I know why he was able to justify himself cheating, because he is a self-centered, you know what. Here's why. So the former girlfriend.
You don't even know this poor guy.
No, I'm judging him. So the former girlfriend of Sturla, she addressed his public admission and apology. She said, it's hard to forgive, even after a declaration of love in front of the whole world. She told this to a Norwegian tabloid. And she said, I did not choose to be put in this position, and it hurts to have to be in it. We have had contact, and he is aware of my opinions on this. So then the Norwegian team had to issue a statement, and Sturla, the biathlete, who now is apologetic for cheating, said that he may have chosen the wrong time to bring up personal matters. He not only apologized to his girlfriend, but he apologized to the gold medal winner, who happened to be his teammate, who nobody even cares about now because the spotlight is on the self-centered, you know what?
It's so awesome.
Which is why I think, like, this is just the type of guy who would cheat. He's so
Good for him.
self-centered. Everything's about him. This is how I feel. And that's why he
like
cheated.
I like it. This is a guy who opened up. This is a guy who made himself vulnerable to everybody. I love it. I think we should all you've heard the phrase air your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
I think everybody should do it in the most important moments of your life.
How about like your siblings' wedding? You like stand up and say, I just want to use this moment.
Not only do you stand up, you go and get the microphone.
Yes.
Right
From
after
the pastor.
maid of honor speech, which you know is going to go on and on and on. You go grab that, and then you say, hey, I would just like everybody to know that I cheated on my girlfriend, and I am so sorry.
So Sturla said, quote, I deeply regret that I brought up this personal story on what was a joyous day for Norwegian biathlon. I am not quite myself today, and I'm not thinking clearly. My apologies go to Johan Olav, who deserved all the attention after winning gold. They also go to my ex-girlfriend, who unwillingly ended up in the media spotlight. I hope she is doing well. I cannot undo this, but I will now put it behind me and focus on the Olympics, and I will not answer any further questions about this.
It's just awesome. Just awesome. It's awesome that somebody decided. And this has to be, would you call this is professional, right? This is a profession for him. I know he's an amateur, but it's right. Okay. But I know it's amateur sports, but yeah. Okay. So this is his profession, and the most important professional moment of his life.
Yeah.
He decides that he's going to tell everybody in the world, I cheated on my girlfriend, and I feel really bad about it. It's one of the best things that's ever happened at the Olympics.
This
is so good. So if you have a moment,
if you've won an Olympic medal,
no. If you've had a moment in your life, maybe it wasn't an Olympic medal, but if you've had a moment in your life where you have just aired something out at the most inappropriate time, like this, we would love to hear about it at 314-436-7900. Because some people don't have the filter. Some people just don't know when to not talk about stuff. You know what I mean?
I think I've aired things before, not in a public setting, but I think I think I've ambushed people before where it's like weighing on me. And then I'm like, hey, can you talk? And they're like, okay. And I'm like, ah! And I think like that, but it's always a private setting.
You kind of did that in a group text the other day. You're like, I got to get this off my chest. What? I'm looking at my phone. Like, what is she talking about?
I was frustrated about a certain person who lives in the White House.
You were. I got to get this off my chest.
I was a little frustrated. And I was like, listen, we only have 3 hours. So I had to get some of it off my chest on the phone.
If you would like to make an inappropriate confession on this show, you could do that. 314-436-7900, or you can leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. In fact, that's a preferred way to do it. It's really cool.
But both ways.
Yeah, either way.
We don't pick. We're not picky. I will say this, and I think a lot of our listeners will get this reference, but it is like Edgar Allan Poe's story, The Telltale Heart, where this guy kills a man, then chops him up and puts him under the floorboards.
Spoiler alert.
I know. Well, it's a pretty old story. Puts him under the floorboards. And he would have gotten away with it, but he was so guilty.
Without those pesky kids?
If it weren't for those pesky kids. You know what?
What?
I give up radio. I'm a bad radio lady. I'm done.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
Nothing matters, honestly.
Yeah, share us your confession. Or if you saw somebody confess something at the most ridiculous time, we would love to hear about it. Please tell us about it. 314-436-7900. Did you see this? Is next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at Supplement Superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
St. Louis, get ready. One of the most powerful voices in country music is coming to the Dome at America's Center on March 7th. Zach Bryan, live in concert. It'll be fun about those clouds, I'm telling you, baby. With the songs you know by heart. You can see now. One night, one stage, an unforgettable night of raw, honest music. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, would you be upset, Ronj, if, let's say, you went to Jack in the Box and you didn't get a refund because you weren't happy with the order?
Well, I don't imagine going back to a fast food place to get a refund.
Well, Sean Nolan, he's 36 years old. He was denied a refund by a Jack in the Box on South Kings Highway. Sean Nolan was advised by the store that he should return during regular business hours with his receipt to speak with the store manager, to deal with the receipt issue. Instead, he called 911 29 times between 11 p.m. and 3:30 a.m., telling the police that he couldn't get a refund. And again, he was mad at Jack in the Box. To him, it was an emergency.
Do we know how they messed up his order?
It doesn't say. It just says
he was unhappy with
it was
an order.
a dispute about a refund at Jack in the Box. So police arrived at the restaurant and they found him sitting in a parked vehicle, and they arrested him for misusing 911 services.
Oh, let him live.
Well, during an inventory,
just give him his refund.
Well, then they did an inventory search on the vehicle, and they did find a gun in a backpack in the rear seat of the vehicle.
Well, he didn't take it into the restaurant and demand a refund.
Well, that's true, except they also found out that he's a convicted felon and he's not allowed to have a gun.
But he's allowed to have a refund.
Well,
just because you're a convicted felon doesn't mean you're not allowed to be.
Let's say you're a convicted felon, and for whatever reason, you're out and about living your life, and you decide.
Did he serve his time?
Doesn't say. But he's out and about. He's a convicted felon, so maybe he's a convicted felon and he got out of jail, served his time.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't say there was a warrant for his arrest, so I'm assuming he was lawfully out of jail. And you're thinking, I'm out of jail. I'm going to go to Jack in the Box on South Kings Highway because I can. You're like, I know I'm not supposed to have this gun, but I'm going to keep it with me. And then you don't get a refund, so you call 911 29 times. If I wanted to get arrested, that's a good method to do it.
Well,
he's not thinking. You know what he's not doing? He's not thinking. You got to think before you act.
No, he's not thinking, because he should have waited till the morning and then just called Jack himself.
Why didn't he just wait for the manager? They asked him to say, hey, why don't you wait for normal
Go above the
business
manager's
hours?
head. Go above the manager's
Go to Jack
head.
the
Go
clown?
straight to Jack. Is he a clown?
Yeah, he's a ping pong ball with
I don't think he's a clown.
I think he is. Yes,
Is
he
Jack
is.
from Jack in the Box a clown? Please let us know at
Did you ever have-
314-436-7900.
Did you ever have a Jack from Jack in the Box like head bobble thing on your car antenna?
No,
I
didn't.
did.
Well,
I did that when I was a teenager, I
did
think.
you eat a Jack in the Box or you just liked the thing?
I think I got it from my papa and grandma.
False advertising. Did you see that Chipotle, who has taken a beating in the last year or so about portion size and all kinds
Really?
of stuff? Yeah. They plan to raise their menu prices this year. They expect, however, their customers are not going to be upset about it.
Why do they think that?
Well, because their CEO, Scott Boatwright,
Right?
yeah, Scott Boatwright says the company is focused on increasing foot traffic, and they say that their core customers make at least $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And they think they're going to be okay with it. They say their customers skew younger, a little higher income, typically a digital native, and their grounded purpose aligns with their North Star as a brand around clean food, clean ingredients, and high
That is
protein.
corporate junk speak for they can afford it. They'll buy it. They're fine. They're fine.
I wouldn't mind, let's maybe boycott them, see what they do.
Well,
Now-
I will say this. I do love Chipotle, but I'm always, for some reason, I'm always closer to Qdoba. So I am almost an exclusive Qdoba eater. By the way, Qdoba opens at 10:30 on Saturday mornings. I'm usually the first one in the door, baby.
So in the 2025 earnings report, Chipotle said that a 1.7% decline in comparable restaurant sales for the year. They join a growing trend of restaurants raising menu prices to keep up with rising inflation and declining sales, and the tariffs are not helping either. So
I don't know.
don't forget about the tariffs, folks, because that is having an effect. So it's not just Chipotle being greedy, which they have been, it seems like, but it
Because
is also
Qdoba's not
tariffs.
getting in trouble, and they're the same thing.
Chipotle did used to be reasonable.
I've got one that's personal for me. It's pretty sad. The operator of 180 Eddie Bauer stores across the U.S. and Canada has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I love Eddie Bauer. They make good stuff.
So are they going away?
Well,
or
it's a little
what's the deal?
confusing, but most Eddie Bauer retail and outlet stores in the U.S. and Canada will remain open as the company winds down certain locations. And then Eddie Bauer will conduct a court-supervised sales process. And if a sale can't be executed, it will begin a wind down of its U.S. and Canadian operations. That is so sad. I love Eddie Bauer. And you know what? The best winter coat I have two Eddie Bauer winter coats, and to this day, they're still the best winter coats. They hold up. They are extremely warm. You can, abuse them. You can, you throw in your coat around, you're wearing it, it keeps you warm. And I think it's because Eddie Bauer doesn't have like the sexy cachet of, it's Patagonia or North Face. But I'm telling you, the best bang for your buck is Eddie Bauer.
Well, you better go get all the Eddie Bauer coats you can and put them away until, you need new coats down the road. I'm so sorry this happened to you.
Thank you.
Hour 2 of 3 is coming up. Andrew Egger, White House correspondent with the Bulwark, will join us. We'll talk more about those Epstein files release and more with Andrew, who joins the show. Are you okay, Amy?
I'm reading our text line, which is amazing.
Well, we'll get to those
We'll
later,
get to
too.
those.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's a great time, if there's ever a great time, to purchase a furnace or an air conditioner. I know it's winter. We got some great pricing. You can get 0% financing. So if you have been told that you need a new furnace, definitely give me a call. I could probably save you lots of money. Get a second opinion. Call me. Next day installs for your furnace so you won't be without heat. Very long. A furnace average install about 2-3 hours for a furnace. So not a big issue to do it now. And like I said, great pricing. So if that's you, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Just the easiest number. And there's one. 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
It is 10 o'clock and we've got sunshine, 38 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Hours after the FAA announced it was closing the airport in El Paso, Texas, it has now reopened. Initially, the FAA grounded all air traffic in and out of El Paso in a 10-mile radius for 10 days. We have now learned that was triggered by Mexican cartel drones breaching U.S. airspace. We get more from CBS transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
It now appears that this had to do with drone and counter-drone measures that were operating in the area around the airport. That airport runway is only a couple of miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. So if a drone did come across the border, it could put that drone right in the way of planes taking off or landing. And that obviously would be a huge concern.
Canadians in shock after a deadly mass shooting in British Columbia where 7 people were killed at a school in Tumbler Ridge, 2 others at a nearby home. The suspected shooter, a woman, was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators say one immigration official abused his girlfriend for years. Another admitted he sexually abused a woman in his custody. A third charged with taking bribes. A review by the Associated Press found at least 24 ICE employees and contractors have been charged with major crimes since 2020.
We're going to have ramp closures at the Poplar Street Bridge tomorrow night. I'm Roger Brand. The ramp from westbound Poplar Street Bridge onto westbound 44, southbound 55 will be closed from 7:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Friday morning. They're also going to close the ramp from the Poplar westbound to Walnut, and the ramp from Spruce onto westbound 44, southbound 55 will be closed, as well as the right-hand lane of that interstate through the Arch grounds. Drivers coming westbound on the Poplar can get onto eastbound 44 or westbound 70 there and turn around at Washington.
Today is National 211 Day, a day to raise awareness of community hotlines. 211 is a free confidential line that connects community members with housing, food insecurity, transportation, disaster relief resources. Kathy Vassaville is the Community Partnership Director with the United Way of Greater St. Louis.
When they reach out to us, they have a live person on the phone that is there to answer their questions, to provide support, and, to give them some hope.
You can call, text, or email to reach a live member of the helpline any day of the year. From the KMOX Business Desk, childcare is a major topic of conversation at the 2026 Economic Issues Summit in Jefferson City. Robin Phillips of Childcare Aware of Missouri is a featured speaker.
The majority of our counties in Missouri are considered childcare deserts. And then when you drill down to childcare needed for infants and toddlers. Their wait lists are long. The costs are high to provide high quality care. And so it's become a barrier for many parents getting back in the workforce.
She says affordable, high-quality childcare strengthens local economies, helping families and giving employers better employee retention. She says more and more companies are recognizing childcare as essential.
Mostly sunny and cooler this afternoon than yesterday, the high 50. Clear skies this evening, then clouds increase late tonight, though 33. Considerable cloudiness tomorrow, high 54. Sunshine and some clouds Friday, a mild afternoon, the high in the upper 50s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
38 degrees with sunshine. The weather sponsored by SNL Coin. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Chris and Amy on KMOX, hour 2 of 3. Gas House Gang comes up at 12 o'clock today with Tom Ackerman and me. We will have a great time today, I promise. Now we are joined by Andrew Egger, White House correspondent and co-author of the Morning Shots newsletter on the Bulwark. He is with us now on KMOX. Andrew, also from the St. Louis area. How's it going, Andrew?
Hey, guys. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're great. What do you make of the release of the Epstein files and the congressmen who are allowed to go and view them and some of the revelations from them? And also, we know there is a hearing with Pam Bondi involved because of all the redactions. It seems like every day that goes by, the more files that are released, the less clear everything is.
Yeah, I think that's the really important point to make, because everything is such a mess with this story, and it is hard to know, like, in a perfect world where everybody was behaving like perfectly honorably and like perfectly efficiently and doing a great job, how much less of a mess it would be. Because this is a story of the DOJ basically having to turf out these enormous databases of files, right? And also trawl through those files and redact information that might compromise the identities of victims and things like that. So it's an enormous task that they've been given, right? Like, so even in the absolute best case scenario, we would be facing some kind of a mess here, especially given the short timetable that the law gave them to turn this stuff around. That said, there's also a lot of reasons to sort of wonder about the sort of motivations of everybody involved, right? I mean, we've talked ad infinitum about Donald Trump's personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. His Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, is revealed in these files to have had a longer relationship with Epstein than he had previously admitted. So there's all sorts of like sort of personal angles to all of this. And in addition to all of that, you know, there's a lot of redactions in these files that don't seem to have anything to do with the victims or to do with, you know, people currently in the administration that are just like over redactions of various lawyers involved or, you know, other people who might have had relationships. And in addition to all of that, there's just the fact that this is, again, a raw data repository of a bunch of completely unvetted information in the first place that these people are trawling through, and a lot of this stuff is coming up with zero context. So it's hard to like really get a hold of any of it and really know what to make of any given revelation out of here. I think one thing that is a good step is that the Justice Department is now, as you alluded to a minute ago, is now allowing individual members of Congress, not their staff, but the representatives themselves, to go to the DOJ and take a look in kind of a secure setting at the unredacted files. Again, when you're talking about 3 million files, it's hard to know exactly how much additional transparency that will bring. But, you know, if your staff have been going through, they have a question about a particular redaction, what's going on there, members are now going to be able to go and you know, lift up the redaction on this or that specific file they might have questions about. So that seems like a step in the right direction. The other thing about it is just, I mean, I alluded to all the sort of like lying that has happened about all of this. It's just sort of kind of a gross element of our current politics. Maybe this is the way politics has always been, who knows, but just the unbelievable lack of trust from everybody toward everybody that makes it hard for anybody to kind of like coordinate or cooperate on big messy stories like this, and just hard to trust the various actors involved not to be sort of spinning things one way or another for their own benefit. So like you said right at the top, it's a mess. That's the biggest thing about it. It's a mess.
So it is so messy and so big that I want to come at this from just a very specific question. And it's awful because it's depraved and monstrous that there's an email that was published that we've seen in the many stories that one mentions like an 11-year-old girl, somebody talking to Epstein about a night or something sexual with an 11-year-old girl. And then also another email where it phrases like the littlest one, which is so awful. It's beyond comprehension. But that name of that person talking about their experience with that little girl is redacted. So why is that redacted? And if anyone in Congress saw who that was, can they not shout it from the rooftops and say, hey, screw the rules. We got to let people know who this is.
So that has been one of the main objections that the sponsors of this law have been making all along. They've said, wait a minute, it is the black letter text of our law that we passed, that the president signed, that nobody is being protected by these redactions except the victims themselves. And so that is a criticism we have repeatedly heard from Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie and these other advocates of the law in the first place. Hey, what's going on with these redactions? We have now seen Ro Khanna take to the House floor to name names of people that he now has gone and seen, and he says, he rattled off a number of names of sort of prominent, wealthy people that he says were underneath those redactions that he has now been able to view. But it's an awkward way to do this, right? Because none of that is really verifiable. I mean, I don't think there's any reason not to trust Ro Khanna when he says that these are the names that were mentioned. He's been one of the main proponents behind this all along. But the idea that you have to trust, the idea that the whole spirit of this law in the first place was, let's stop trusting anybody's take. Let's stop trusting anybody's narrative about what's in here. Let's just get the files out there so people can see. And the fact that we are, despite that being in the law, that would be the way it is, we're still having to have this sort of bank shot communication of members being able to go in and see what's underneath these redactions that really should not have been in there in the first place. That is an indictment of the way that the DOJ has handled this. That being said, again, like I said at the top, really, really difficult task to go through and get all of these documents, redacted according to the correct parameters on such a short timetable when we're talking about millions and millions of documents. So I have a certain amount of just human expectation that there's going to be errors and things like that when we're talking about this. But you would think that some of these ones, like those ones you mentioned, would be pretty important to get right.
One of the things that Donald Trump, when he ran for president, was central to his campaign was immigration and doing something about that. However, polling just released this week suggests that he is doing poorly in that in terms of approval, that people don't think he's doing a very good job on that. So what does that mean? And how does it happen that somebody runs on an issue the way he did, but is not making people happy, that he is not addressing it the way they want him to?
Yeah. So basically what we have seen on the issue of immigration, specifically with Trump, is that it repeatedly and consistently in issue polling all through the last presidential campaign, and even for the first chunk of his second presidency, been his strongest polling issue. He has routinely polled better on immigration than he has on presidential approval overall. He's polled better on immigration than he has on the economy or on foreign policy or on anything really. And what this suggests is that there is a bundle of people out there, quite a lot of Americans out there, who don't like Donald Trump in general, but who looked at kind of the prevailing status quo of Biden era immigration policy with millions of people coming into the country in kind of unprecedented numbers in a semi-orderly, but not very orderly fashion, and said, look, I don't really like Donald Trump, but he represents a rupture from this pre-existing status quo that I think is crazy on immigration. And so that helped Donald Trump politically for a long time. What we are seeing now is that immigration, all policy is thermostatic in American politics. Immigration may be the most of them all. You basically every kind of status quo for the way that the U.S. public looks at immigration is in a backlash to something that they didn't like right before, right? So Trump benefits from the backlash against the way that Biden was running immigration. By the way, Biden benefited from the way that there was a public backlash against first administration Trump immigration policy. But so now we're starting to see this swing back the other way, where people are saying, hey, hold on, I thought that this was going to be sort of like a law and order thing. I thought that this was going to be, in contrast to a disorderly and chaotic process of millions of migrants coming into the country under Biden, that we were going to kind of get things back under control. And even though Trump has succeeded in certain respects, succeeded very, very well in terms of just getting down the number of unauthorized border crossings, that's been like maybe the most unambiguous success of his presidency. That's not the kind of thing people are thinking right now when they think about immigration. They're thinking about the clashes in the streets between protesters and ICE in Minneapolis. They're thinking about, U.S. citizens getting taken into ICE custody or ICE battering down people's doors without a judicial warrant, because these are the controversial edge cases that are in the news right now. And these are the places where they are really bleeding support, because these do not scan to a public that does want orderly immigration enforcement. They're not, the public has not taken a dramatic left-wing turn on this issue. But when they look at the way that the White House is messaging this stuff and the way that their agents are operating in the streets, that does not read to them as orderly, lawful immigration enforcement. And that is the path that he's taking on this issue.
Andrew, a federal grand jury yesterday refused to indict the 6 congressional Democrats who made that quote unquote illegal orders video saying you don't have to obey illegal orders. What do we know about that, those 6 Democrats, and how the Trump administration is responding to their failure to bring charges against them?
Yeah, this has been a really grim story for a few months now. You guys remember when this video first came out, it was a group of 6 current Democratic lawmakers, all of whom have a military or an intelligence community background. They just released a video basically saying, hey, you out there in the military and the intelligence community, just remember you have an obligation not to follow unlawful orders should you ever be issued any. They weren't talking about anything in specific. Of course, this was happening in the context of a lot of controversy about, the National Guard being deployed to American cities, or Trump potentially invoking the Insurrection Act. So, there's obviously a subtext. They would not have been doing it, this video, if it weren't for those things. But the response from the White House from the very beginning was really remarkable. Donald Trump got up on Truth Social the next day and was retweeting calls for them to be hanged for this, calling it seditious behavior. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has taken to calling these guys the seditious 6. He's tried to open court-martial proceedings or at least a internal military investigation into, for instance, Senator Mark Kelly, who signed that. And now the latest is that we have gotten about this is that apparently the Department of Justice attempted to go get criminal indictments for these 6 lawmakers. They were unable to do so. This has been a new thing under Trump. The kind of pre-existing conventional wisdom is that grand juries pretty much give prosecutors any indictment they ask for. It's not that hard to go get one. You don't have to show, whatever parts of the evidence might back up the person that you are trying to indict. The old joke is that a prosecutor can get a ham sandwich indicted in front of a grand jury. During Trump 2.0, we have been seeing more and more of these grand juries refuse to give these indictments that these prosecutors are seeking. And the seeming reason is that a lot of these charges are just kind of trumped up, and they don't really have any real legal argument other than Donald Trump telling Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice, look, go get these guys. They're making me mad. So it's good, I guess, that these lawmakers are not being brought up on trumped up criminal charges for this thing. It is remarkable and honestly insane that we have the Department of Justice actively doing everything it can to try to get them on these criminal charges in the first place.
Andrew Egger, White House correspondent for The Bulwark. His newsletter is called Morning Shots, and you should subscribe to that. We appreciate you as always. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, guys.
At 10:30, just after 10:30, we'll be talking to CBS correspondent Kelly O'Grady, who is in Milan covering the Olympics. So we'll get a bit of an Olympics update there. Maybe she has seen the Norwegian biathlete who confessed to cheating on
The
his lady friend.
Cheater / spotlight stealer
Yeah.
as a texter who understands.
Also,
Gets it. Called him.
that's right. You know what we're giving away today?
Oh my gosh. I think we're giving away a couple of things, not the least of which being tickets to a Zach Bryan concert.
Yep, got to be listening for your chance to win, and a City Yeti refillable Rambler, the one that is the official one for the 26-27 season that you can purchase and take with you and bring it back and take it with you again.
Exclusive In-N-Out privileges.
It's refillable. It's amazing. And we are giving one of those away today as well. Got to be listening for your chance to win on KMOX.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 369369. AREA to 369369. AREA to 369369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At Target, we're unlocking all the feels this Valentine's Day. It's the perfect time to spread extra love and spoil everyone on your list with unforgettable gifts. First, give a cuddle-worthy surprise with the cutest plush toys, or get party ready and treat yourself to stylish women's dresses you'll heart. Both 20% off. Then dive into the ultimate cozy celebration with your faves with 30% off select women's pajamas. There's something sweet for all your special someones, even you. Find Valentine's Day gifts for everyone at Target.
Italian subs for your finance team at Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. Easy Cater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. Easy Cater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX. A century strong. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Amy Marks, Chorus, Chris Ranji. We will talk to Kelly O'Grady, CBS correspondent in Milan. She is covering the Winter Olympics, and she will be next, Amy. I know you've been watching the Olympics.
I have been a huge fan of the Olympics. And let me say this about Kelly O'Grady when we talk to her. I need to ask her about her past. Because
Whoa. It's a little accusatory.
it is a little accusatory. So she is in Milan, as you mentioned, and she has a great Instagram account. If you haven't followed it yet, you should follow it because she breaks down different elements of figure skating in a couple of her recent posts. And she had to have been a competitive figure skater because she did one of the spins that they do where they start out with their like one leg out and they're spinning kind of slow and then they pull everything in and they start spinning really fast.
Yeah.
She did that.
Oh. So
Like she was a competitive figure skater. We'll have to ask her about it.
Well, yeah. Wonder if she was any good though. I mean, the spin was pretty good. I saw that. I don't know
Are you going to ask her? So, were you any good?
I don't. It's amazing how when the Olympics are happening, and I feel like it happens quite a bit with diving. You suddenly become an expert. You're like, that splash wasn't very big, so that was a great dive. Because that's one of the judging parameters, right? Like if your splash is big, then that means you didn't do a very good job of diving into the water.
Yeah, my mom is so funny. She's going to be mad that I'm outing her here on this, but it's really funny. Whenever we watch the Olympics, and of course Summer Olympics with the diving, she'll get into the splash. She'll be like, "Oh," she's like, "That was a big splash." I'm like, "That didn't look that big." She said, "No. Compared to the other guy, like she has an eagle eye for the splash size." She's like, "No, that was a big splash." And then the scores come in. She's like, "See, I told you that splash was a bit bigger."
See. You just become like, oh, she stumbled a little bit on that that spin
you know what?
she did.
I'm glad you brought this up because every 2 years when we watch the Olympics, we, the lazy, untalented, worthless Americans, watch the talented Olympian Americans and all the athletes in general compete. And we sit on our couches eating Doritos, drinking soda, and just judging these people. Like they wobble on the balance beam. You're like, oh, she's terrible. Like I said, or skiing downhill. You're going 90 miles an hour. It's a 90-second race. One guy, it's in the red that he was behind the leader by 0.2 of a second. And you're like, oh, what a shame he's even in the Olympics. How did he even get here? 0.2 of a second behind. There is a cross-country skier who's going viral right now because this guy is skiing uphill. Up a very steep incline, obviously in cross-country skis, at a sub 6 minute per mile pace.
I don't even know what that means. Is that good?
It's really fast.
Okay.
I need any of you to try to go run a sub 6 minute mile. You might not be able to get there.
Oh, wait, I thought we were talking about skiing.
We are.
But wouldn't you be able to move faster on
not uphill?
Oh, uphill?
He was skiing uphill. That's the point. This is cross-country skiing, and he was going up a very steep incline.
A very steep incline? I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Chris Kerber, Chris Kerber, St. Louis Blues broadcaster.
Yeah.
He tweeted at me with the video of this guy skiing. It's like, oh, I bet Amy thinks this is nothing. No big deal. I'm like, no, this is a big deal. And it really has been blowing up our running groups because to run like a 5:45 pace up a hill is so difficult. I can't imagine doing it in skis.
Well, I'm looking at the video now. Guy looks slow to me. How did he even make the Olympics?
You're such a doofus.
How did he even
You're
get there?
such a boob. Anytime I try to tell a fun story, anytime I try to have any kind of fun at all and get excited about the Olympics, you be the big boob that you are.
What's this guy even doing here?
This
guy shouldn't even be in rec league cross country skiing.
It's rec league cross.
Just even have that.
Beer league cross country.
Oh my god.
Now that's a good t-shirt.
Ski up this hill and have a bush light.
His aerobic capacity has got to be insane.
Well,
I think I would die. I think my heart would explode if I tried to do that.
I don't think so, Amy. But maybe, you never know.
You know what?
I can't wait to talk more Olympics with Kelly.
Yeah, you're a fun time ruiner.
I didn't do anything wrong.
You were supposed to join in the admiration of these athletes, and instead you poo-pooed him like a boob.
Kelly O'Grady, covering the Olympics in Italy, will join us. She's with CBS, and she will be with us when we come back on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Your ride home just got a lot less of this and a lot more of this.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going, a swing and a high fly ball. Deep left field, and it's a gunner.
Kevin Wheeler, Matt Pauley, Bernie Miklasz. 3 voices, 1 hour, all Cardinals. From roster battles in Jupiter to pennant races in St. Louis, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers. The Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5 on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in a school pickup line, thinking about what to make for dinner. Are the kids' practice jerseys clean? If she sent out that last email before leaving work. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Members get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect her HVAC systems at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com today. After all, comfort is our middle name.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 39 degrees and very sunny outside Studio B. Cooler today, though, with a lot of sunshine, a high of 50. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 30.
Brought to you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. Before you packed your child off to college, did you get a power of attorney for them? Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the 3rd leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advanced them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at Supplement Superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Max Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
The Olympics continue in Milano Cortina. I have had so much fun watching, but I don't have the view that Kelly O'Grady has. She is there in Milan now. She joins us now, CBS correspondent in Milan. And Kelly O'Grady, I'm assuming you're a correspondent, but I'm not also convinced that you're not also an Olympic athlete competing in figure skating. Can you confirm?
We saw video.
Or deny? I saw video.
We're watching videos.
And you were spinning on an ice rink, and I'm like, wait a minute, is she competing?
Well, it's funny. My producer and I went to an ice rink nearby in Milan, which was just a cool experience in general. But I used to do some figure skating, and we thought it would be fun to film a few videos to help people understand the scoring and a couple of the different moves. But no, I could never do what these Olympic athletes are doing. But thank you for assuming that would be possible.
Well, I told people they should go visit your Instagram, follow your Instagram, because it was a really helpful video, especially, I just watched the men's short program last night. Ilya Malinin, topped of the leaderboard, but there have been times when I'm like, wait, how can anyone compete with him? The score, if he's doing things no one else can do. And like you said, it's not just about the jumps. It's also execution and the spins and the artistry.
That makes me so happy, because that's exactly the point of what we were trying to get across. Because I think people do. It's like, well, that trick looks great. But then there are times where, you do get a downgrade on the execution, which is what happened to him the other night. So thank you. Appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Why doesn't we all we all think we have become experts when it comes to figure skating and snowboarding and in the Summer Olympics diving? Why do we feel like we know what we're talking about when it comes to the Olympics this time of year, I guess?
Well, because I think we all love being armchair experts.
Yes.
I will fully admit that happens to me when it comes to, freestyle skiing, and you go, oh yeah, sure. Why didn't they do that? That didn't seem high enough. I think we just love to get into that mindset. Like, we think it's so exciting. And then you listen to it for a little bit and you hear the commentary, and we just love to get into that opinionated spirit that so many of us have.
For sure. Well, Kelly, what events have you been to so far, and what stands out to you? Because obviously you're a reporter, but also a human like the rest of us who just stands in awe of these athletes.
Oh gosh, I know, right? I mean, this isn't even work. This is an assignment of the century to get to do this and experience this in person. So I, of course, have been to a lot of the figure skating. I think one of the things that stood out to me, and it sounds like you did watch the short program last night, was Max Naumov, who is an American figure skater and is competing here. And it's not even going to be about the medals. It's just the fact that he is at these games because he lost his parents, who were also his coaches in that plane collision in DC a year ago. And so just to see that really emotional moment, he showed a picture of his parents in what we call the kiss and cry in skating when he receives his scores, because sometimes you're happy and sometimes you're sad when you receive your scores. That's where the name comes from. And that was just a really touching moment to be in the audience. The other thing, though, and I think you're going to hear a lot more of this, is hockey. So women's hockey, the U.S. team, every time they score a goal, they play Freebird. And I was there when they were playing Switzerland the other night, and Freebird played 5 times. And based on how they're looking so far, you're going to hear that a lot more of these games.
That's right. And also, Layla Edwards, the first Black female to play on the U.S. Olympic team, scored a goal yesterday, and she's an absolute, oh my gosh, just incredible player, and has been fun to watch.
Absolutely. And I think, the cultural significance around it too, I think that's something that's very exciting. As you're covering the games, you're obviously watching these athletes do incredible things from a sports perspective, but there's also so much else to them, and getting to hear these stories and understand their backstory and what it's taken to get here. And so many people watching this will now see her and see, a Black woman on the team and see themselves in that, and sort of wonder what is possible. And it motivates them even more, which is, as someone who is here covering it, it's always really gratifying to tell those stories.
Because we always like to pay attention to the most important stories. The one of the biathlete from Norway who decided to confess that he cheated on his girlfriend after winning bronze, immediately after winning bronze. How was that gone over there? Because it is such an unusual story, and his performance and him doing that post game overshadowed his teammate who actually won gold.
I know. If I were his teammate, I'd be like, just hand me back the mic, okay? Well, it's funny that you bring this up because this has been the talk of our team's workspace today. Because in addition to being armchair experts, I think we also love the drama that comes along with the games. And so it was a very interesting choice to share that he had cheated on his girlfriend. And then, of course, I'm not sure if you saw, but a Norwegian paper, news outlet, had done an interview with the anonymous, now ex-girlfriend. And it is just continuing to gain steam here because people are fascinated by why he chose that moment of all to share his romantic exploits.
Right. Such a spotlight stealer. So what is... Well, let me ask you this, because the media is not allowed to just walk around Athletes Village. Is that right? Or no?
That is correct.
Okay.
But actually, we did get to go inside the village. There was just a sort of a special day if you are not the rights holder, which, of course, for the United States, NBC is. But we were able to pop in and kind of see what they eat, how they spend their time. There was a fun little Zen den, and you can even adopt a plant for the games and then return it back, and someone from Milan will be gifted it. I'm personally very interested to see how many of those plants survive by the end of the game. I don't have a green thumb, but yes, so you can't just walk around freely, but we did get a sneak preview one day.
You know, I don't know if this has been one of the things you guys have talked about, but Team Canada, the men's ice hockey team, decided, I think once they got there, I'm not sure if it was before or after, that they're not going to stay in the village. They're going to stay in a hotel. Team USA men's ice hockey is staying in the village. Are other athletes doing that where they stay in a hotel instead of in the village?
So you will see that happen a lot. And over the past few games, that's been something that's developed because on the flip side, oftentimes you hear about, the beds, I think in, Paris, that was an issue. And, you don't have a lot of space. You're maybe not in your normal routine. I think certain athletes will make the choice for part of the games, for the entire games, to stay outside, to be in a space that is optimized for their preparation. And then there are some other athletes that say, this is the best part of it. It's so exciting to be around other people, around your teammates. You hear some of them describe it. It's kind of like summer camp.
Yeah.
So I think it's more just each athlete makes the decision that they feel is best. And hopefully no one has any regrets at the end of it all.
Kelly, Amy and I here talked this week about the Olympic athletes from the United States representing the U.S. who were asked by the press there about, all the stuff that's going on in America at the moment. And, there's a lot of unrest here and division and that sort of thing. And we were discussing whether or not it is appropriate to ask those athletes about it. Is there any, from what you can tell, is there any pushback from athletes? Do they feel like they shouldn't be asked these questions? Generally speaking, do they not like being asked about what's going on here in politics? Or do they just feel like it's part of the thing, like they have to do it?
That's a really interesting way to get into that story. I mean, it's obviously been something that we've talked a lot about and we've talked to fans about of how they feel the athletes speaking out or being asked about it. When you think about it from an athlete's perspective, I really do think it varies athlete to athlete. And you've seen some athletes who are asked those questions even make statements along the lines of, look, this is a platform. I'm very grateful to be able to impact and share about a particular issue that is important to them. And then I do think that there are some that are, it is a tough line to walk. And when you are someone like an athlete, you are here to do a job, but naturally other things get brought into the conversation. So I really do think it depends on what particular athlete you're talking to. From a fan perspective, I can tell you the folks that we've talked to on the ground have said, we're just here to watch. really exciting athletic performances. And that's what we want to focus on rather than all the noise. And I mentioned that the Athlete Village is a little like summer camp. I think everyone at the Olympics, it's a little like summer camp. You're in this bubble and you get to see people do really cool things rather than all of the other stuff that's going on in the world.
Well, we appreciate your reporting. Thank you for taking some time to join us. I know you're very busy, and we'll let you get back to it. And we'll let you teach us how to be figure skaters later on. And how to really be experts.
Great to talk to you both.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Kelly O'Grady, CBS News correspondent, joining us from Milan, where the Olympics are taking place. I think that if we talk to her enough, we can become experts, and we can rightfully judge all these figure skaters. And we can say we know what we're talking about because Kelly told us what to look for.
There you go. Well, KFO Grady, Grady on Instagram. She's, competitive figure skater. That was really impressive. I've never seen a reporter report on figure skating and then skate backwards and say, this is what I mean, and then actually perform the figure skating, whether it's, she didn't jump, but she did the twirling.
You know what? You could do the same sort of thing. You're talking about all your running. You could say, this is what I'm talking about, and then you could just run away. That'd actually be good reporting. Going, You know what? That's actually great reporting on the Summer Olympics where, I'm Amy Marks scores. I'm reporting from LA 2028. This is what it looks like to run a 6-minute pace. And then I just run off the screen. That's my signature reporting move, is to show people what it looks like. I think you should do that. Why?
Well,
it's because you don't work for NBC.
Oh, I know. We're CBS, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. So I don't think you can go. In fact, I don't even think if you had a ticket, you're not even allowed.
Well, she's there.
She works for CBS. Damn. Okay, good point. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We hope that you're having a great day. We hope that you want to win tickets because we're going to be giving tickets away to see Zach Bryan March 7th at the Dome at America Center. And before the show is over, we're going to do that. Got to be listening. And that City SC Yeti, the refillable one, we're going to give one of those away too, right here on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Hypnosis can help. Join the over 500,000 people who have attended Mark Patrick Hypnosis with great weight loss results. Mark Patrick Hypnosis will be in St. Louis on Saturday, March 7th.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about dessert.
Only $59.99. Lose all the weight you want. 100% guaranteed. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Registration, 10:30 a.m. Attend this program and find out how the power of hypnosis can help you achieve your weight loss goals. There's limited seating, so get there early. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
What's this song called? Was that a joke?
No, I was
Were you just
joking.
making up lyrics?
Just
Okay.
I remember
All right.
everything by Zach Bryan.
Oh, I remember everything. Okay.
And
Zach
would you-
Bryan.
Yes.
It's not Brian Zach, is it?
Or
No.
Luke Bryan.
Zach Bryan.
Or what about Keith Toby? Remember him? Rest in peace.
Zach Bryan, not Zach Brown. Zach Brown is chicken fried.
Chicken
So
fried.
if anyone listening is like, I thought they said Zach Brown. No. Zach Bryan.
That's weird because Zach Brown had a song called Chicken Fried, and
Yeah.
Zach Bryan dated a lady named Chicken Fry.
What?
That was her stupid moniker. What is it? Brianna Chicken Fried. That was the one.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And I think she had something to do with Barstool. I think she
Really?
worked for them.
This
Yeah.
is, if you are making up words right now,
It's not her. Her real name was not Chicken Fry. She just went by Brianna Chicken Fry.
really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've never heard any of this. All of this is news to me.
She is an internet personality, Brittany LaPaglia. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, she worked for Barstool, did or does work for Barstool Sports.
Zach Bryan, then Zach Brown. Is it Luke Bryan or Luke Bryant?
Luke
Bryan.
Bryan.
No.
No T.
Oh,
No T.
is there a Bryant? Why are they all named the
There's
same?
a Chris Bryant,
Who's that?
baseball player.
No, okay.
Plays for the Rockies, and he's out like 60 games or something
This
because he's hurt.
is Radio for Idiots.
How about Zach Bryan tickets
Yes.
to see him at the Dome at America Center March 7th? And we've got a pair of tickets to give away right now. We are looking for caller number 9.
Yes.
Yes. Caller number 9 to the contest line at 314-955-1120. That is 314-955-1120. This is presented by AEG, giving us the tickets to give away to you. And we wish you the absolute best of luck.
And keep listening today because you also still have a chance to win the City SC Yeti Rambler giveaway. Now, remember, the Yeti Rambler is the only cup with exclusive in and out privileges. You can take it in and out of Energizer Park and get refilled water, and soda for free. And if any of you have ever been at a hockey game, or a soccer game or a baseball game when it's hot, you'll pay like $9 for water. But with the Rambler,
you go fill it up as many times as
free.
you want. All season long for as many times as you go to the games.
Now, we are going to be chatting with Matt Seebeck, St. Louis City SC Chief Experience Officer, in just a couple of minutes about the new Tina Turner kit, which is really cool. It's City SC jerseys, the kit, that are gold in honor of Tina Turner. It's really fun because, she would always wear like the gold or the fringe outfits and had that high energy.
Yeah.
And then she wore red lipstick and red nails. So her name is written in red, like City Red, but also the red lipstick. So we're going to talk to them about those kits. But Ranj, I did, while we were on the Olympics and before we move on, if you have watched any figure skating, and we've been talking about the American figure skater Ilya Malinin, who was here for the Olympic trials, basically, the U.S. championships. He's the quad god, as they call him. Well, you'll see him do backflips. Have you seen his backflip on the ice?
I have.
So for 50 years, the backflip has been banned. Now, in competitive ice skating, the last person I remember doing it, which I know it says 50 years, but was Scott Hamilton. Do you remember Scott Hamilton would do a backflip?
I believe Scott Hamilton came... Did he not come through KMOX sometime in the last year or two? Or am I making that up?
That was Brian Boitano.
Brian Boitano did for sure, but I thought Hamilton might have.
I think you might be right. But at any rate, when Ilya Malinin does this backflip, as the Wall Street Journal points out, he doesn't get any points for it. Like you don't get no technical points for it. They note it puts his whole body at catastrophic risk. Technically, it is the most dangerous element in the entire program. They said he backflips on ice with a pair of knives strapped to his feet. He sticks the landing. He gets nothing to show for it, like technical points-wise, but he does it for the pure spectacle, for the showmanship.
And
it was, like I said, it was outlawed. It was banned because they didn't want competitors to do the backflip, get points for it, and then force people uncomfortable doing it to do it to keep up.
Okay, that does make sense. I would think, though, that in figure skating, it has to be more dangerous to be a couples skater. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Especially, remember the couple from, I don't know if it was the last Olympics, and it may not have even been an Olympics at all, where they do the simultaneous, they're both side by side, and they're spinning with their legs out. And the man, his skate hit her in the face.
Oh.
Remember that?
It
happened some point in the last several years.
Yeah.
I do not know if it was an Olympics or not. And that was awful.
Well,
that is really dangerous.
It is. And during the U.S. championships, one of the pairs, the guy, when they were doing the side-by-side jump, the guy stumbled. He fell. He put his arm on the ground, and she was coming out of her jump. So her legs swung around.
Yeah, okay.
And went whoosh, and hit his arm, which made him fall further onto the ice. And it didn't cut him, thankfully. But, I can't watch this one, but the SNL pair skating skit.
I know what you're talking about.
I know.
Oh, man.
So, yes, it is the most dangerous.
That's absolutely right. SNL has some really good.
No!
He's
bleeding.
It's kind of like their Dead Poets Society tribute.
It's so graphic.
Sketch.
It's
my gosh.
stupid graphic.
Yeah, I love those. I love when SNL does that stuff.
And the announcer, they just keep skating.
Hour 3 of the show is coming up. We will talk to Matt Seebeck, the Chief Experience Officer for City SC, about those new kits. They are really, really cool. I love them. And Matt will join us when we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
It is 11 o'clock. We've got sunshine with a few clouds in downtown St. Louis. Currently, it is 40 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. A Hillsdale man receives 7 years in prison for a fatal shooting that took place at a Gravois Park gas station in 2024. That August, 38-year-old Kenneth Brown was killed after exchanging gunshots with Duran Roundtree during an argument at a gas station in South City. Roundtree was prohibited from having a firearm due to a previous felony. He faces trial next week. The FDA is not moving forward with Moderna's application for its new flu shot. The agency says it's not a safety issue. Rather, it just disagrees with how one of the main studies was designed. Dr. Celine Gounder is CBS News medical contributor.
Moderna's vaccine uses mRNA technology, which is the same kind used in the COVID shots. Instead of growing flu virus in chicken eggs, which is how most flu vaccines are still made, mRNA vaccines give your body the instructions to make it.
Moderna conducted a 40,000-person clinical trial comparing its new vaccine to one of the standard flu shots used today. A Mexican cartel drone incursion prompted an hours-long closure of airspace around El Paso International Airport. The FAA reopened that airspace this morning, just hours after it announced a 10-day closure that grounded all flights to and from the Texas airport. The majority of counties in Missouri are considered child care deserts. Robin Phillips with Child Care Aware of Missouri has been working with employers and lawmakers and is a featured speaker at the 2026 Economic Issues Summit this week in Jefferson City. What does it take to build Missouri's economy and labor market? Affordable, high-quality child care.
That's the number one barrier that keeps coming up, along with housing and transportation, but child care was always the top barrier.
Phillips says employers across Missouri are realizing that child care is essential infrastructure and directly impacts workforce participation, retention, and productivity, key drivers of any thriving economy. A plan to demolish 6 St. Louis public schools, including one on the National Register of Historic Places, was approved and advanced last night by the school board. Now they can issue requests for proposal to knock down the schools, most of which have been vacant for decades. Some insurance money will help fund the demolition. At least least one of the buildings was damaged by the May tornado. Board member Brian Marston stressed that the buildings have not yet been torn down, so any developers interested in rehabilitating any of those properties should come forward as soon as possible. From the KMOX business desk, the Pinup Bowl in the Del Mar Loop is under new ownership. The bowling alley and lounge was opened 23 years ago by Joe Edwards, who says the future looks bright with a new ownership team. It's musician and radio personality Moon Valjean and restaurateurs Ben Strake and Rick DeStefan. They're the duo behind Tam Avenue Bar, Bird and Barrel, and the Tenderloin Room. Strake says he met Edward's daughter Christine playing pickleball a few years ago, and when Joe was considering selling the pinup, she mentioned it to him. Moon says he's looking forward to using his musical background and network to develop more collaborations with the community.
Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, but cooler than yesterday. The high not far from 50. Clear skies this evening, but clouds will be moving in later tonight, though 33. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, high 54. Back to some sunshine Friday and mild. The afternoon high in the upper 50s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 43 degrees now. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
City SC season starts February 21st. We'll have the broadcast here, Odyssey St. Louis. You can listen in. Joey Zanaboni and Dale Schilly, they will be on the call for that one. And that's a big one, too. We've also got spring training baseball that day. So a lot of sports happening. And as we get closer, I should also mention spring training starts tomorrow, technically, for the Cardinals officially. So we are getting into a great sports season here in St. Louis. And we welcome in today City SC's Chief Experience Officer, Matt Seebeck, who is with us on KMOX. Matt, good to see you. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about why you're here first.
Yep.
Because today, and if you're watching us on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you can see Amy and I and Matt wearing the new gold City SC kit for the upcoming season. We're going to talk more about it, but this is a Tina Turner inspired jersey, and it is very cool. We like it a lot, but it reminds Amy and I of the inaugural season for SC football here in St. Louis, and our boss walked in here. Mm-hmm. It was at some point before the season started.
We were pretty excited about the team is going to be here. City SC.
Unveiled the new kits with the city red. And so our boss came in here with 2 bags and said, "Hey guys, try these on."
And they
were the brand new
City Red.
SC. Oh, so Amy and I put them on.
We couldn't believe it. We were so excited.
Super excited. We took a photo and everything. And then Steve goes, "Okay, now give them back to me."
Yeah,
they're for Y98.
Yeah, you can't keep them.
What?
He took them back.
It's like giving Christmas presents to kids and saying, actually, it's not for you, it's for your brother.
Yeah. He de-gifted. He's a de-gifter.
What in the hell?
Yeah.
And you came in here with these awesome kits and they're ours.
Well, and I asked, I said, do we get to keep these?
Yeah.
And they said yes.
How about that? I can see how happy you are too. Look at
this is great.
This is redemption for you.
Yeah, you guys came up huge. Yeah. Steve likes to hurt our feelings, I think. And so
I think it does something for him.
Yeah.
I think he gets real pleasure out of it.
Yep.
So anyway, you guys have been huge right now.
The inspiration behind these kits is Tina Turner, St. Louis, and one of the most famous. And I mean, how did this happen? How did we get to this idea?
We've just, hopefully, this is our 4th year in the league. We've talked to you guys a lot. Like we've always just been about shining a positive light on St. Louis, and that comes through with our local food, the local music, everything we do at the stadium. And so a couple years ago, we started thinking about doing one of these celebrity collabs, and we weren't specifically thinking music. We had a lot of different St. Louis born celebrities on that list. And this started in 2023, and Tina Turner had almost suddenly passed in May of 23. And so at that time, all these beautiful stories of her life and career and her origins and, launching a career in St. Louis, they started to come up, and we were completely captivated by it. And we liked her story, one, because it was a bit surprising. I think people are still, through this jersey launch, learning that she actually spent time here in St. Louis. So we like that surprising angle to it, but her story had a lot of depth and rough edges around it. And I think that mirrors St. Louis in a way, as we've been knocked down, we've had to reinvent ourselves. And there's just, Tina Turner is a global icon, but it's this story and the way that she launched her career here in St. Louis that we think is pretty cool. And we wanted to celebrate it.
Well, it's like such an awesome kit. Like we said, that focus on the gold.
Yeah.
Because Tina Turner always brought so much energy and always had some kind of like metallic gold or silver, something fringy that she could dance with. But then also her name's written in
her signature.
Yeah, her signature red, like her red lipstick, her red nail polish. So it kind of captures the fun of who she was on stage. But when you step back and think about it and say, okay, so an MLS team has this collab with not just an incredible star, but Tina Turner here from St. Louis, I imagine this has to gain national attention for being pretty unusual.
Totally. It was on front page of Billboard magazine last night. So, I mean, we're able to now, I think, attract a whole different audience and, again, just shine a positive light on St. Louis. And, St. Louis has launched a lot of global stars and celebrities past and present. And I think that's what we're looking to call attention to through this.
So you said that this is going to be more than just an alternate jersey. This is going to be a regular one.
This will be the kit we wear on the road this year. So we're pretty pumped about it. So, 17 road games. And so we get to tell this story 17 different times in 17 new cities, which is pretty fun.
How did you make that decision?
Yeah.
It's so I mean, we've got two jerseys. One, the home jersey will always kind of be our city red that we're known for. But then these road kits, they're the league calls them the community kits, and they look for clubs to really swing for the fences on these things, inject creativity into it. So we thought that this was a good opportunity to do that.
So no whites this year? No whites? Kits?
Nope.
Wow.
So the road white will be retired, and this is what we'll wear away from home.
Oh, very cool.
With this, the Tina Turner collab, like you said, these gold away kits, are there hats too that will be in?
There's a whole collection.
Okay.
There's hats. There's a Tina Turner scarf. There's a collection we did. Adidas is our jersey partner. We did an Adidas Originals collection, so a bit of their vintage kind of throwback collection that they don't do with all clubs. But Adidas, this is the first collaboration they've done in soccer with a female. Surprisingly, a big global company like Adidas. So they're really fired up about it, and they've given us some really nice supporting pieces along the way.
Yeah.
So where will these be available, these kits and the merchandise you're talking about?
They're available starting today, which is really cool. So obviously that's a lead up until our first home match next Saturday on the 21st. So, but they're available today. We have a special pop-up down at the City Foundry. So if you're looking to get away for lunch, the City Foundry, we've got a pop-up right at the entrance there. Cool. That's got the entire collection, really cool photo opportunities. We've been working on this jersey with Tina's estate and her record labels, and they were able to bring in some Tina memorabilia. That's down there. There's a Lifetime Grammy Achievement Award down at the pop-up. So some really cool stuff. So you can get it at the pop-up. And then, of course, our team store down the street here downtown.
It's funny. Tina Turner's music is always at the top. People are always listening to it. But the song, Simply the Best, I feel like also had, I don't know if I want to call it a resurgence or just it reminded people how much they loved it as well with Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
When Patrick sang it to David. So
Totally.
Noah Reed, who's a real artist, singer, sang such a beautiful rendition of it. And I know for me, I listened to that song and thought, I love this song.
Yeah.
And then I turned on Tina's version. And then now I'm listening to more Tina Turner music because you just have to, you remind yourself how much you love her music. And speaking of that, this a whole kit and collaboration is kind of the anchor or the visible anchor of a celebration of Tina Turner citywide, because the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is having a special night, Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner that's presented by Purina. That will be Sunday, February 15th at 7 p.m. at Powell Hall and the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. And very cool because Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of the Alabama Shakes will be there. and St. Louis native, I think John Burroughs graduate, and The Voice finalist Kennedy Holmes will be part of that production.
It's going to be awesome. So it's this Sunday. The entire symphony will be wearing this new
Oh,
kit.
really?
That's
so
awesome.
it
that's
will
so
be
cool.
a real full circle moment for us again to pay, this tribute to Tina Turner, which just isn't a jersey launch. It really will last throughout the year. So that will be a really fun, epic kind of civic celebration at with the symphony on Sunday. So there's still a limited amount of tickets available on that one. So
now that you're getting ready for another season here beyond this, and now it's time for actual soccer to happen. What goes into the lead up now, just a couple of weeks away?
a lot. I mean, every year we try to make it new,
Really, it's a week
new
and
and
a half.
exciting.
I
It's
mean,
a week and a half. It's next
yes.
Saturday. So
Yeah.
this is a busy
Wow.
time of year. The new jersey kind of signifies a new season, new storytelling. We'll have new food partners that we always like to announce the week leading up to the first game. So that'll be next week. And just really, if you haven't been to a game yet, or if you even have, like, we want every season to feel like there's something new, something fresh. So a lot of responsibility goes into that, which is fun.
Any hints on the new food partner? Like, what does it rhyme with? Or...
That's for next week, Amy. That's for next week. We're focused on the jersey right now.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of, like, I was going to start throwing names out there, but I won't put you on the
Is there
spot.
any Shmimos there? Is that
Waco Tuda?
Oh, also, we
It could be Waco Tuda.
We talked last year about the Yeti, Yeti refillable
Oh, yeah.
Rambler.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty cool thing. I mean, there's a price tag up front, but then you could take it to the stadium, to Energizer Park, and use it all year.
Totally. I mean, for the fans that come, more than 3 times to the stadium, which is the majority of our season ticket members, it makes really good sense for them.
Is there anything else you want people to know before we get closer?
No, we're excited. Symphony on Sunday, next Saturday, our first home match down at Energizer Park, and we're pumped. We've got new coach, new players in, a new jersey, a lot of kind of rebooting happening at the club, and we're pumped about it. We're excited to get going.
Well, we're pumped to have you in studio. Thanks for the thanks for the swag.
If you guys could take those off and give them back.
I know.
What are you, Steve Moore?
It's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Matt Seebeck, Chief Experience Officer with City SC. Again, a week and a half from now, the City season will happen. We are looking forward to it. And you remember, Amy, how I just mentioned the City and Yeti Rambler?
I can't believe it. Is it time?
It's time, dude.
Unbelievable.
I think it's time right now. We're going to go ahead and give away one of those to caller number 7.
That's right.
To our contest line at 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. We will give away one of those today. We're going to give away one tomorrow and also the next day. So the City and Yeti refillable Rambler for the 2026 City season. It's the only reusable drinkware with exclusive in-and-out privileges at Energizer Park. Now available for sale in the City Pavilion. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy place every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis. St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history. From moment to memory.
President George Bush is on his way to St. Louis right now.
Among those voices, Ron Jacober.
Welcome back to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Make dinner, not reservations. Kenrick's Meat Market's complete Valentine's Day meal, including premium steak, side, salad, and dessert. Cook your perfect steak at home, all for only $59.99. Mention KMOX and receive a free bottle of wine, only at Kenrick's Meat Market.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex. And you can pick that up at supplement superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings. And man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to supplement superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex. And you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
Congratulations, Randy from St. Louis, who won the City Yeti, the refillable Rambler, which you can get at the Pavilion now. And also to Todd from St. Louis, won the Zach Bryan tickets.
Wow.
Zach is at the Dome at America Center on March 7th. We have tickets to give away tomorrow and Friday. Same thing for the Yeti City SC Rambler, too. So
It's coming up March 7th. Sounds far away, but it's really not that far away. Ranj, Mizzou Athletics is looking to sell the naming rights for a Memorial Stadium. So the days of Memorial Stadium at Mizzou, M-I-Z, are likely numbered. For a point of clarification here, I always thought it was Faurot Field. And as you noted, well, the field itself is still Faurot Field.
yes,
But the stadium is Memorial Stadium.
that's correct.
And that's the way it is in Illinois?
Okay, so it's Faurot Field at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
That's what it's
So
been
they're
called
not
since...
changing the Faurot Field.
Yeah, since like the early 70s.
Okay.
They named it after Don Faurot, the coach. So yeah, they're going to do naming rights. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I have no problem with that. I think people seem to be, though they're used to it now more than they were in the past. I think people generally don't like naming rights deals. They don't like changing the name of stadiums. It's off-putting to them.
It
I
is.
better not bring that
Ranch.
up.
It
I
is
know.
off-putting. Well, it's like we all call Riverport still, even in the midst of it changing to the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. So the Mizzou Athletic Department did say that if Mizzou finds a corporate partner, they are going to drop Memorial from Memorial Stadium and replace it with a corporate entity. So they're doing this. Why? Well, of course, money to generate more revenue for the athletic department, which don't you think is absolutely necessary for all these schools now in the age of NIL?
Have to.
I mean, you're not going to have any sentimental names in the world of NIL.
That's exactly right. Especially to compete with,
you're in the SEC.
Right. I mean, you got to compete with Georgia and Alabama and some of these schools that are just big time. You have to. There's no choice. And I know people are attached to names of buildings because they're used to it. And it would, let's just say, play a thought exercise here. If for some reason, and I can't ever see it happening, just because of the relationship Anheuser-Busch has with St. Louis, it's like a mile that way. So it's really close to the ballpark. I can't ever see the Cardinal Stadium not being named Busch Stadium.
Don't even put it out of the atmosphere. Don't put it in there.
I mean, just if it does at some point become something else. I don't know what it could possibly
stupid like GoDaddy.com Stadium.
I don't think it'd be Energizer Stadium because they've already got Energizer Field. So, it could be, what if it's Enterprise? Nope, can't be that either. We already have an Enterprise. What if it's Centene?
It has to be an EN, Enterprise, Energizer, and
the Chris and Amy.
The Chris and Amy Stadium.
The Chris and Amy Stadium.
If you do want to feel, if you're like, hey, they rename stadiums all the time, they do. I will say this. If you want to feel a little worse about what they're doing at Mizzou, just a little worse about it, keep listening. So Memorial Stadium has been called Memorial Stadium since 1926.
Okay.
So it's the 100-year anniversary. Right. It was named in honor of the 117 Mizzou students and alumni who died in World War I.
And that's and great. You can still have a monument to them, a memorial for them somewhere on the premises. But do you know how many memorial stadiums there are? I mean, there have to be at least a dozen different places named Memorial Stadium somewhere. So it's not like, I don't know, I don't feel an emotional attachment. There are a couple of assembly halls. Illinois was an assembly hall where they play basketball.
I like that.
And
I like assembly hall.
And it's escaping me right now, but they have an actual naming rights sponsor now. So it's no longer technically assembly hall. I am not attached to names of buildings. Didn't really care when the Sears Tower became Willis Tower. It would be weird if Busch Stadium became something else, but it wouldn't change my love for the Cardinals or wanting to root for them.
You'd understand why people
would
be sad.
Too. Of course.
And
but
there's
it doesn't.
Some more nostalgia than others, right? The Kiel Center had a little nostalgia, but then once you went to Savas Center,
right,
it was gone. The nostalgia was gone.
But there was at some point a place called Sportsman's Park, and that's where the Cardinals played. Right?
That's
it
a great
just doesn't. Name. Yeah. And I'm sure there were people like, I don't want to name it after Busch. I know it's after a person, technically not named after the beer, but it wouldn't bother me.
That's why they created Busch Beer, right? Because they weren't allowed to name the stadium after alcohol. Correct. Because it was supposed to be Budweiser Stadium.
There was a thought to name it Budweiser Stadium, and the league didn't want them to.
Named it after the family Busch, and then they made Busch Beer.
That's right.
Love it.
That is
Loophole.
that is some real
out of the box
creativity.
Thinking. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, yeah. So who would you want to buy the naming rights for Memorial Stadium?
Me?
Yeah. Tums?
Well, I think
Tums was based here.
That's right.
Tums Chewy Bites Stadium.
The Tums building is right over across from Busch.
Then you could call it like the Tums Bowl.
No. I think I would just like to name it after like Todd. Well, this is Todd Stadium.
That's not how it works.
No, that's a great name. There's a person who has a whole lot of money and they buy the naming rights and they name it after. I think it would be better to name it after a first name, right? Give it a first name.
Frank, Fred
Stadium. Claude Stadium.
Stadium McStadium face.
No, that's now you're
there
being
is
ridiculous.
An old movie, like a 1940s movie, where this girl who is not famous, I don't know, she's in dire straits, but she uses all of her money, like her life savings, to put her face on a billboard in Times Square for a week. And everyone's like, who is that? And then she gets famous.
What's this
It's
called?
from like the 1940s.
That is
A great
kind
idea.
of amazing. What a concept.
Yeah, and that's the whole. And everyone's like,
Love
"Who
the
is she?"
premise.
And she starts doing advertising, and people are asking. And she does commercials, and she's being interviewed, and everybody thinks she's somebody because she put her face on this billboard in Times Square, and she was like a mystery, a beautiful mystery woman.
I actually think we should name the Mizzou football stadium Kevin Stadium. What if we just called it Kevin Stadium?
I think that's really dumb. I
No,
think
how?
you've had a lot of dumb ideas.
What?
Here, Jacob's watching. He said Todd is a terrible name.
Stop it.
What about Major Garrett Stadium, says a 314.
Well, no, he's not going to pay for that. And I wouldn't ask him to pay for it either. Hey, Katie Lee, she's a friend of the show. You know, Katie's Pizza and Pasta, really successful restaurant chain here in St. Louis. Well, there's a new location opening, and there's something called a $1 million tunnel oven. Don't have any idea what that actually means. We're going to find out. Katie Lee joins us when we come back on KMOX.
Spring training is here, and Cardinals baseball is heating up in Jupiter as young talent and big expectations take the field. The Gas House Gang is talking Cardinals all day long. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronchi, Bernie Miklasz. Smart takes, insightful analysis, real Redbird conversation, plus live reports from Camp Cardinals with Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne. If it matters to Cards fans, it's on the Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on KMOX.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is a beautiful day out there. Looking outside Studio B, a little cloudy, currently 42 degrees. Very sunny today, a high of 50. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 30. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza.
You know, it was just National Pizza Day.
Yeah,
like 2 days ago. And nobody brought us pizza. I think our boss should have done that.
He's not going to do that.
He doesn't do anything for us. I don't think he cares. No, I think it's what you said. He takes pleasure in our pain. You know who likes us, though? Katie Lee, the owner and operator of Katie's Pizza and Pasta, really successful place here in St. Louis. And they continue to expand. You can buy the frozen stuff in stores. I mean, she's doing great. They are doing great. And there's a new location coming to Crestwood. We bring in Katie Lee now on KMOX. How's it going, Katie?
Hi, how are you? I should have brought you pizza. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what? No, this is not your responsibility.
Not your fault.
You didn't do anything wrong. This is not
But
on
I was
you.
busy opening up a restaurant. So.
Yeah. Your new location in Crestwood. Okay, so how many restaurants is that for you now?
So it's technically 5. The first pizzeria has been closed for a while, but what's interesting is today is the anniversary of that one. I opened it 18 years ago.
Wow.
So now we have four Katie's Pizza and Pastas. This is the 4th Katie's Pizza and Pasta in Crestwood, and we're soft opening it today, which means you can still come in and enjoy normal hours while we learn and train the new staff. That's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. I know Katie's is absolutely the go-to spot. I feel like at least half the time, whenever I'm talking to people, going on a date, going out to dinner, having friends in town, family in town, and they want a spot, they're always going to Katie's, which it's absolutely delicious. And what you've done, like you said, from the original pizzeria to now the current 4 locations in like Town and Country, now in Crestwood, of course, you've got one at Ballpark Village, and your frozen pizzas are in Target and Walmart. That's pretty unbelievable.
Whole Foods?
Like they're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. They're across the country. They're in about 4,000 doors, grocery stores across the country. And this year we're going to be expanding even more. So it's pretty wild. And we do it all. We make them all in St. Louis.
Do you ever go to a frozen food section where the pizzas are and just kind of stand there and watch people go up and get pizza and then say, hey, that's me, you know? Do you ever do that?
No, I mean, I do stand there and watch, and
Yeah.
sometimes they'll grab one, but yeah, no, I don't. I tend not to go up to them unless they get one of mine, and then I'll go up and say thank you. But if they don't, I don't want to harass.
I'm Katie. I'm Katie. Maybe you can make a better choice. Tombstone, really?
Yeah, you gotta harass
But
the
I
non-buyers.
I used to eat
I've
Jacks in
definitely-
college. I think you could do better. How about Katie's?
I've definitely thanked people at the Dearborn checkout for sure.
You know, this is such a stupid question because, like, again, just how well Katie's has done. But when you do get, I remember when you got the Walmart, it's like the golden ticket that you're in Walmart, you're in 4,000 stores. Once you get that, do you think, oh my gosh, I got to hire some people? How am I going to do this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I always say yes to things. And then my team looks at me or calls me and says, now, how are we going to do this? So I'll say yes. And then I'll say, oh, no, what do we do now? And that's usually how all of everything goes. But we have a very resilient, gritty team. So we figure it out.
There's a Jim Carrey movie about this. It's called Yes Man. And where he has to just say yes to everything. Maybe not always the best
I should
idea.
watch that.
So-
yeah, I've got to learn my lesson. Someday I'll learn my lesson.
Well, you'll learn your lesson when it doesn't work, but it's working really well so far. How does $1 million tunnel oven work?
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, so we're hand stretching and wood firing all of these pizzas. And the wood firing is hard. We're doing it in like traditional wood fired pizza ovens and spinning them with a paddle. And it's hard on the team. So we wanted to automate that. The only place that makes a wood-fired tunnel oven with wood is in Milan, Italy. So we went to Milan, the team and I, we watched them build it, got trained on it. And right now they're shipping it across the sea to us. And we're going to install that. So that will just take away the kind of painful job of hand spinning those at a wood-fired oven. So they'll go in the tunnel oven, they'll spin on the conveyor belt, which is made of lava stone, and then the wood will speckle the crust. So it's pretty exciting. But that will help us make more pizzas for the country and the frozen aisles.
Wow. So how big is this thing that we're talking about?
It looks like a spaceship. So, yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, I would imagine it's probably like 30 feet long. So pretty big and pretty crazy looking. It really does look like something that could take off and land on the moon. So
Do you know how to operate it?
we'll see how it goes. We went to Milan. We got trained. Massimo's gonna come over here and retrain us again. And it's again one of those things where I said, yes, let's do it, and we're gonna figure it out.
That is so cool. Okay, so the tunnel oven then, that will be primarily for, like you said, the frozen side of things. So not necessarily on the premises of one of your current restaurants.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That'll be at our frozen pizza plant. And then our pizzas our restaurants are all self-sustaining. They all have pasta rooms. They all have wood-fired ovens. So we hand make all of our noodles in our pasta rooms. We make all of our dough, our sauce, hand-stretched wood-fire, just like a traditional Italian restaurant.
So tell us about the Crestwood location, because my understanding, it's like a pretty cool design, like Crestwood's 1950s kind of architecture and development and the clean lines. What makes the Crestwood? What are you excited about that location?
It feels really good to be in here. It's really beautiful. Yes, we mimicked it after Crestwood was built in the 50s, 60s by a famous architect. So that mid-century modern look. So we mimicked all of that with our furniture and, like we said, clean lines. We have a beautiful walnut bar made by Dave Stein and lots of beautiful tile and marble and palm trees. So it's got that like funky Palm Springs mid-century feel, but just honoring the neighborhoods that were built here in the 50s and 60s. It's a very large restaurant. It's almost as large as Ballpark Village. Wow. It has a huge patio, a huge bar, but it feels really warm and good in here. So we're very, very excited about this location. And we learn every time we build a restaurant how to make it more enjoyable for the guests and the team. And this one really hits the nail on the head.
Talking to Katie Lee, the owner and operator of Katie's Pizza and Pasta, how do you determine, because each restaurant, there are similarities, but there's also different character to each one of them. How do you decide how they're going to look when you bring in a new one like the one in Crestwood?
I think we think about the neighborhoods. I was born and raised here, so I know all of them pretty well. And we think about the neighborhoods, who lives there, and how much space they're going to need, and the architecture and the history. For example, Ballpark, we utilized a lot of salvage architectural materials from downtown St. Louis in the space there. We made it very grand to be next to the ballpark. So it just depends on where we are. Rock Hill is a cute little neighborhood. So it feels like a very neighborhood restaurant at that one. We just look at the neighborhoods and the history and the architecture and kind of go from there.
I mean, every experience I've had at Katie's has been so good. And it feels like if you said this is Katie's only restaurant, right? Her sole focus is on this location, like you'd believe it, right? It feels that way. How do you scale not just a restaurant, but now like the frozen pizza business? Because I imagine like you don't want to lose that feel of when you owned one or two restaurants.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that. No, and I agree with you. I have a team that's been with me, some of them for almost 18 years, many of them for more than 10 years. And we all kind of wear a lot of hats and split ourselves up, but we're all very close and we spend a lot of time together, brainstorming ideas and doing development and critiquing. So there's just a big core group up at the top that has been with me for a really long time, and they're all really special. And so anytime we open something or have a project, we all focus on it and then divide and conquer and make sure the others are still supported. So there really isn't a strategy to it, except that everyone's been here for a pretty long time and the culture's kind of embedded in them. But thank you so much. I agree with you. They all have great teams and feel really good.
So because you tend to just say yes, as you've mentioned, my My guess is I think I know what the answer to this one is. Now that you have been expanding and you've expanded the frozen pizza operation, the actual physical location operation, do you think that you will continue to do that? Will you continue to open brick and mortars?
Well, we're going to move our Rock Hill location to a larger space in the same center this fall. So that'll be our next project. And then, we're all very, we love to grow. We love building. We love expansion. And I can't imagine that we would stop where we are. But right now, our next focus is after, getting Crestwood off the ground, which it's doing really well in the first few days, is building the new Rock Hill. And then I think we'll all look at each other, get antsy and say, okay, what's next? So I imagine there will be more if I know us.
Yeah. I mean, well, and I know you have your book, your memoir that you were writing, and you came in and, showed us some of the book, read part of the book, and really an incredible story for people who don't know. Like, you had your first business plan for Katie's when you were 21. You opened your first pizzeria when you were 25. But even kind of before that, or in the midst of that, you struggled with alcoholism. I think you were in a halfway house for a while.
Yes, I was. I was homeless and then moved into a halfway house, lived there for 6 months on South Broadway. And that was in the midst of my first restaurant. So I got kicked out of that one and hit a bottom and then rose back up. But the memoir I wrote the whole thing over a year and then kind of published it in magazine format in the restaurants over the next year. And now, really exciting, we're getting working with a publisher, and we'll announce that soon. But that'll be a traditional book that'll be out to the world this coming fall or winter. So it'll be great to share that story with more people.
Well, Katie, congratulations on the book. Congratulations on the new location in Crestwood and on the $1 million tunnel oven, which you cannot put in your house. And
no,
I just want you to know, from Amy and I both, we are not upset that you did not bring us pizza. Just want to reiterate
we lay that up. That's
Pizza
on
Day.
Steve. Yeah, that's on Steve. It's not on you. Not on you.
We think you're great.
All right, we're going to make it up to you. I promise.
We know you will. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Katie Lee, owner and operator of Katie's Pizza and Pasta. Place is really great.
Insane story.
I'm just killing it, man.
Yeah, that's
doing a really great job.
Really, really cool.
And Amy and I are very jealous that we are not as enterprising.
I wish I were more enterprising.
Don't you? I wish you were too.
Instead, we're both stuck together.
You know what? I think we're doing okay. We should expand. Let's say if we expanded, where would it go first? Would we go Indianapolis or Kansas City or Chicago?
I think we'd have to go Kansas City. So let's wipe that one out. Let's say Chicago, where your family is, so they can hear the show.
Well, they can hear it on the Odyssey app.
Yeah.
It's free, and you can put it on your phone. You can listen to this show, the podcast, and Cardinals baseball when the season starts. Spring training gets going officially tomorrow. And you should know that even though football is done, the Super Bowl just happened on Sunday, but you can bet on the winter games. That's right. The winter games are happening right now, and FanDuel is helping you get involved and stay connected to the action. You can do game lines. You can bet medal counts, like which country you think is going to have the most total medals or the most gold medals, whatever it is you're looking for. And also, you can maybe, hey, you're really into speed skating or hockey or figure skating or whatever the event might be, bobsled, luge, skeleton, any of those. Well, you can bet it all on an app that is easy, it is secure, and it is really a lot of fun to use. How about curling matches? Yep, that's right. That is all available to you on the FanDuel app. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get yourself started. There are always specials and bonuses that are going on as well. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started today. FanDuel is the official sports book of KMOX. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I got you something extra special for Valentine's Day.
Yeah?
How does a blow and go sound?
I like it.
Great. Air Comfort Service will be here on Monday.
Wait, what?
Our attic insulation is in bad shape. Air Comfort Service heating and cooling and insulation can top off our insulation with blow and go and make our home more energy efficient. We can save up to 30% on our energy bills.
I love it when you talk savings to me.
Schedule your blow and go attic installation from Air Comfort Service. Visit aircomfortservice.com/blow today.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
2 St. Louis icons, 1 legendary tribute. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in St. Louis City SC at Powell Hall on Sunday, February 15th for Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner. Presented by Purina, with performances by special guests including conductor Anthony Partner, Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, and our city's own Kennedy Homes. This is your chance to experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
St. Louis, get ready. One of the most powerful voices in country music is coming to the Dome at America Center on March 7th. Zach Bryan, live in concert.
It'll be fun, but those blood, I'm telling you, baby.
With the songs you know by heart.
You can see now.
One night, one stage, an unforgettable night of raw, honest music. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
I'm Kiara Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 369369. AREA to 369369. AREA to 369369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the Odyssey app?
Yes, you tell us all the time.
Did you know that you could also leave a voice message like Linda did?
It's just the same old thing, Chris and Amy, the rich protecting the rich. I would imagine that most of the people that weren't redacted, and a lot of them that were redacted, are ultra rich. And that's what the whole situation is. Hope it comes to an end and a lot of more people suffer the consequences like Prince Andrew did, being stripped of his royalty, disgraced, because that's what they deserve. And if Trump pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, that should be the end of him.
Yes.
Well, if he does, I can't imagine he would do that.
I feel like even...
I don't know why I say I can't imagine, because I could. I just... There's no way, right?
Know that he...
That's one you can't do.
Because the...
Right?
I don't want to say, Trump is an entertainer and he knows how to, play the room in some ways, but also I'm not sure if he, I don't know.
As they say, a bridge too far, you would think, right?
You would, and I know we've said this is a bridge too far 7 million times.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's just insane. Here's the thing. Yes, it is all rich people. It's billionaires. It's sultans. It's princes. It's people with money. If we could unredact all the names and all the guilty parties, and we tell them all that the island's back, we put them all on the island, and then we blow up the island. What about that?
I mean, I'm not going to object to it.
That's what I would do.
Where would the island be? Offshore? Because anything can happen there. Right?
Well, it has to be offshore, otherwise it's not an island.
I mean, out of our purview, our jurisdiction.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Like really far away.
I'm thinking like offshore betting, which isn't, it's technically not American, right?
Yeah.
And then you can get away with anything. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, but you're right, because the one thing that has started to, or maybe the first thing that started to drive a real rift in MAGA, especially for the true believers, a la Marjorie Taylor Greene, is the Epstein files.
We also talked about the potential naming rights deal for Memorial Stadium, where Mizzou plays. That's Faurot Field at Memorial Stadium. And a texter to 314-436-7900 suggests Preparation H Stadium. Now, you might say, I don't ever want to call my stadium Preparation H Stadium. I would have no problem with that. I think it'd be fun.
Would you have Preparation H hats? Would you buy the swag?
Why not? Preparation H Stadium?
Yeah. And then you could
walking around with
you
that?
could talk about how clean your athletes are, in the sense of like the only roids we allow are hemorrhoids or no roids. Get it? Not roided up because Preparation H.
No roids, legal or illegal. No roids.
Yeah.
And this text message comes from Centralia Daddy.
Oh, no.
Or Daddy from Centralia, who says, how about we name the football stadium at Mizzou Daddy's Got It Stadium? Look, that's not
how this works.
It's not how it works.
That's like stadium McStadium face.
Nobody's going to name it that. Nobody's going to back it.
Do you think I gave him the idea when I said GoDaddy.com Stadium?
There is an actual, right?
Probably.
I think there is a GoDaddy.
Lay's Potato Chip.
I don't know why.
Chip Stadium.
Sure.
We do have a 636 asking why there's not a Katie's Pizza and Pasta in St. Charles.
Well, it's kind of, I feel like she started in a central location working her way out. Give her a minute, would you?
No, absolutely not.
Well, how about you living in St. Charles? Why don't you try coming to the city for once? It's not.
Hey,
you'll be fine.
Remember the lady that isn't sure if she likes you?
Yeah.
She did not like your take on the cross-country skier who was going uphill at 6-minute pace. I was impressed. You were not. She said, I'm right. It was the most amazing thing she's seen in the Olympics so far. And this is one of the reasons why she's not sure she really likes you.
Well,
She just doesn't know if she likes you. And this is one of the reasons. It's stupid takes like that.
Cross-country skiing, that's easy. All right, we'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll have Major Garrett on the show because it is a Thursday. But if you missed anything on this show, Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts, KMOX.com. Hope you have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. But next, it is the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman and me, we're going to check in with Matt Pauley in spring training in Florida. Next on KMOX. I cheated on my girlfriend. I am really sad. She left me. I can't even enjoy this medal right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by LendSeek.
The most